Hi, this is Dale from Power Equipment Direct. So that your brand new chainsaw cuts the way it's supposed to, I'd like to show you how to properly mount your bar and chain and then tension the chain. Well, the first thing you'll need the tool, and it usually comes with the saw. It's called a scrench. It's a wrench for the bar nuts, and it's also a spark plug removal tool. So if we're going to ever replace the chain or the bar, or both, or even just have the chain sharpened, first thing you want to do is always release the brake, slightly loosen up your bar nuts first. Take your chain tensioner and put some slack in the chain, like that. Take your bar nuts off the rest of the way. So when you take the cover off, you'll see your adjusting mechanism here. You'll see this pin. This pin rides up and down on a track, which moves the bar back and forth. We loosen our tensioning screw here. You'll see this pin go back and move the bar backwards. You'll see the chain come loose. So once we get the chain back far enough, we can remove the bar and chain. And you'll notice this right here. This is your chain adjuster. This is the pin that moves around. This is the hole that it sits in the bar. And that's what takes your bar and moves it backwards and forwards and actually tensions your chain. You'll also notice this is the drive sprocket that the chain drivers sit on. That's what turns your chain on your bar. So the first thing you'll want to do is you want to mount your chain on the bar. Make sure all the drivers are in the bar grooves, especially the ones on top. You'll want to notice that the teeth of the chain, the cutting teeth are facing on the top of the bar, are facing forward. You always want that to be in that position. Keep it as tight as you can in the back. Once you have the chain mounted like that, you want to put it around your chain sprocket. As you can see, the pin is completely in the groove right there. Okay, so a question I get a lot is, how do you know when it's time to tension the chain? If you'll notice, I did untension this chain. This chain would still cut, it would still work on the saw, but it's really not tensioned correctly. One of the things you want to make sure is you never, ever tension a chain while it's hot. If you tension this when it's hot, when it gets cold, it's going to contract and it'll bend your bar. So you want to make sure you wait till this cools before you tension it. The next thing you want to do is get your alignment pin into the bar groove. The way you do that is by adjusting this little screw. Once you've got all that lined up, put your cover on. Put your bar nuts on, but you don't want them to be tight. You just want them to be snug down slightly so the bar doesn't come out of place. You want to turn this, you'll see the chain start to tighten up. Alright, so you'll see we're tight here, but the chain's not all the way up. So that means the chain has dropped off the end of the bar a little bit, and it happens. So what you want to do is loosen it up a little bit, take your cover back off, and get your chain back lined up. That's better. So now bring it up. Turn your adjusting screw, you're going to see the bar move forward, you're going to see the chain come up. Make sure it's all in the grooves. When you get to about this point, you want to hold the nose of the bar up, and that's because when you're cutting on this end, you're putting this pressure on the bar. And if you had it adjusted with the bar down, when it actually worked its way back up again, you'd have an issue with the being tightness not being correct. So what you want to do is hold the nose of the bar up, tension your chain till you just feel it settle in. When you start to feel it tight, what you want is, while holding the nose of the bar, you want to pull this down. You want the chain to just slightly come out of the groove, but snap right back in. And now you're properly set. So then go back through, tighten up your bar nuts. You want to put your scrench in here, make sure the chain moves freely. And when your brake's on, the chain does not move. Some saws have what they call toolless chain tensioning. What I have here is a Makita. It's a 36 volt cordless battery saw, and it has a unique tensioning system where you don't need a tool. It's just a thumb screw. Here they acts as a lock, and you have an adjuster here. So I've loosened this chain. I just want to show you what to do. There's a thumb screw adjustment here. It'd be basically the same procedure. You'd want to bring the chain up, get it till it feels snug, double check it. Now it's still a little loose. Tighten a little more. You want it to snap back like that. Once you have that in place, snap the lock back down into place. Take a screwdriver, or if you got a scrench, you can use a scrench. And just make sure the chain moves, and it doesn't move when the brake's on. So since there are different types of tensioning mechanisms depending upon the brand and the model of the saw, whenever getting a new saw, you want to always look at your owner's manual and see what type of tensioning system your chainsaw has. Every saw is different, so if you're not sure, just check your owner's manual. So I hope after watching this, you see how to replace your bar and chain either on your new saw or on an existing saw, and also how to properly tension that chain. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.